Ladies and gentlemen, perambulating majestically in front of the presidential dais are the contingent commanders and their supernumeraries. They will later be invited by the parade second in command to assume command of their contingents. Perambulating on ceremonial parade draws its origin from the past.
Good morning, distinguished viewers. You are watching us live on Ghana television from the Ghana Military Academy Square for the Ghana Military Academy 2023 regular career course intake 62 and short service commission and special duties course 60 graduation ceremony. I am Naval Lieutenant Agnes Arthur and I am your commentator for today. The master of ceremony for this morning's graduation parade is Squadron Leader Elizabeth Fadilatu Salifu, and she will be ably assisted by Flight Lieutenant Carl Achu Olaboy and Miss Rosemary Kwaku, who will be providing French commentary for this morning's parade.
For parades of all sorts, including fatigue, drill, pay, punishments, and the assembly of guards.
Distinguished viewers, perambulating on the square are the parade supernumeraries who will very soon take position in front of their various contingents.
Upgrade project, and today's parade is the fourth graduation ceremony to take place here. The space was formerly a decorated.
Distinguished viewers, as mentioned earlier, on your screens now are the contingent commanders and their supernumeraries. They have been invited to assume position in front of their various contingents on parade.
Take three for me. Oh, sharp. Look, we have camera 4. Camera 3, your name.
Distinguished viewers, military parades are normally held on an open hard ground referred to as the square. It is the anvil on which discipline is hammered into every soldier. The marrying up and march into battles begin from the square, and military practice in the 17th and 18th century has it that when a regiment marched into a town or any location where they were going to be quartered, a place of assembly was decided upon to draw everyone together whenever the need arose.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, marching majestically now is the parade adjutant in the person of senior cadets.
Distinguished viewers, the parade adjutant will soon hand over the parade to the second in command. That is the parade adjutant in the person of senior cadet Kumsin David Kwame, marching majestically right there.
Academy 2023 regular career course intake 62 and short service commission public special duty intake 60 graduation parade formed up. 2 officers, 292 graduating cadets, 98 regular career course intake 63 junior cadets, 7 permanent staff, and Ghana Armed Forces mass band on parade. Ready for your takeover. Cadet Sergeant Kumsin David Kwame reporting. May I have your permission to follow? Mom!
The parade senior cadet Kumsin David
Distinguished
Kwame
viewers, senior cadet Kumsin David Kwame just handed over the parade to the parade second in command. The parade second in command is Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther. That is the parade second in command, waiting to quickly take charge of the parade and the various contingents. The parade second in command is marching to assume command of the parade, and she will soon invite the other parade appointments to take up their positions.
Promotion, Frimpong Esther vient de prendre sa position comme commandant du défilé. Ainsi, elle invitera d'autres commandants des contingents de prendre aussi leur position.
That is the parade second in command, Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther, who just assumed her position on parade.
The front and rear of
Distinguished viewers, on your screens now are the parade appointments who are marching to take over their positions in front of their various contingents on parade. That is the Ghana Armed Forces Mass Band right there. Who have just taken over the parade. Distinguished viewers, the parade appointments and their supernumeraries just assumed position on parade. Distinguished viewers, there are 6 contingents on parade this morning. On your screens, from left to right, is the number 1 graduating contingent made up of Army cadets.
His supernumeraries are Cadet Quartermaster Sergeant Friar Kingsley and Cadet Quartermaster Sergeant K. Millicent Oye. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Staff Sergeant Kitinkawe Daniel Leku. The next is the number 2 graduating contingent made up of naval cadets, and it is under the command of Cadet Corporal Dogbe Delali Nuneke.
Distinguished
supernumeraries are
earlier,
Cadet
there
Corporal
are 6
Boachi
contingents on
Alphonsus
parade this
Yeboah
morning.
and Midshipman Poirot
The commander of the number 1 contingent,
the non-commissioned officer
is
supernumerary
Cadet Company
is
Sergeant
Petty
Major
Officer
Ifa
Class 1
Bright
Wu
Ajin.
Kamaradin. The next is the number 3 graduating cadet made up of flight cadets.
The number 2 graduating
They are under the
contingent
command
made
of
up
flight
of
cadet
naval
Forty
cadets is under the command of Cadet Corporal Dogbe Delali Nuneke. Her supernumeraries are Cadet Corporal Boachi Alphonsus Yeboah and Midshipman Puridemi Vincent Sulugo. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Petty Officer Class 1 Go Kamaradin. The number 3 graduating contingent is also made up of flight cadets, and it is under the command of Flight Cadet Corte Mavis. Her supernumeraries are Cadet Regimental Sergeant Major Sefa Richard Obing and Cadet Sergeant Nyoko Junebenani. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Flight Sergeant Obing Boating Eric.
As the supernumerary.
The number 4 graduating contingent is made up of Army cadets, It is also under the command of Junior Under Officer Kweku Felix. His supernumeraries are Cadet Company Sergeant Major Ago Anthony and Cadet Sergeant Aivo Pensi Della. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Staff Sergeant Ifa Evans. Distinguished viewers, the number 1 escort contingent are made up of junior cadets from the regular career course intake 60. And it is under the command of Cadet Regimental Quartermaster Sergeant Fuji Denku Mighty Hebert, with Officer Cadet Akoli Courage and Flight Cadet Damsa Ernest Kweku as the supernumeraries. That is the ceremonial parade adjutant right there.
As part of regular career course 57. He has been at the Ghana Military Academy as an instructor since April 2021.
He is in the person of Captain Abubakari Sadiq Yusuf, and he is a product of Tamale Senior High School in the Northern Region and a graduate of the University of Ghana, Legon.
He must indeed be a proud horse officer. As he sees
this morning he's riding the horse Fire. His hobbies include horse riding, listening to music, and swimming.
Ladies and gentlemen, the parade is going to hand over to the parade commander.
Over the parade to the parade commander.
Hey! Shit!
Marching majestically on your screens is the parade commander. He has assumed position on parade and very soon will take over the parade.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, marching majestically now, the parade second in command.
Majestically now is the
Junior
parade second in command, Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther, and will very soon hand over the parade to the parade commander.
Ghana Military Academy 2023 regular career course intake 62 and short service commissioned oblique special duties intake 60 graduation parade formed up. 2 officers, 292 graduating cadets, 98 regular and the Ghana Armed Forces Mass Band on parade, ready for your takeover. Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther reporting. May I have your permission to fall in? Fall in. Sir!
The parade second in command has handed over and will now take her rightful position on the square.
To take position on parade.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen,
and short service
the parade commander for today's graduation parade is Senior Under Officer our train Vanderpoy.
marching to take his position on parade.
The parade commander is now marching.
Parade commander, Senior Under Officer Awatri Jacob Vanderpoy. He is marching to assume command of the parade and will very soon invite the colors to march on parade. As the colors pass by, personnel in uniform are requested to pay the appropriate compliments to the colors. The parade commander has taken his position on parade and will soon invite the color. The parade commander has invited the color party, who will very soon take position on parade. That is the color party right there. And with the colors set on parade, the parade will soon commence. Distinguished viewers, an important feature of every military parade is the custom of carrying colors or flags. In the past, each regiment or unit carried a flag into battle as a rallying point for its troops. Unlike the colors today, which bears the badges of achievement of a regiment and its crest, early flags were basically banners of just a single color, thus the term colors. Colors are important that during battles in the past, officers and men would rather tear their colors and distribute it among themselves than have it fall into the hands of the enemy. The color party taking their position on parade. Paying compliments to the colors is a tribute to the sovereign authority of the nation or a military unit's past accomplishments and those who died for those accomplishments. Distinguished viewers,
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen,
awarded to a unit
an important
by the
feature
head of state
every military parade
formal and
is the custom of carrying colors
on parade this morning.
In the past,
are the national and the Ghana Military Academy colors, which were presented to the Academy on 17th August 1985 on the occasion of the school's Silver Jubilee. By then, the Commander-in-Chief, former President Jerry John Rawlings.
Colors are so important.
The colors were received on behalf of the unit by then Cadet Sergeant Jacinse Christopher, now Brigadier General Christopher Jacinse.
Into the hands of the enemy. Paying compliments to the colors.
He was the former Ghana's Defense Attaché to South Africa and Cadet Sergeant Major Ayi Moses, also now Brigadier General Moses Mohammed Ayi, retired, the immediate past General Officer commanding
by the head
the
of
Northern Command. Distinguished viewers, the colors were presented in the time of regular career course intake 25 and short service course 24.
On the occasion of the school's Silver Jubilee by the then Commander-in-Chief, former President Jerry John Rawlings. The colors were received.
The opportunity to carry colors is considered a great honor for a young officer and historically, only the most courageous young officers were assigned to carry the unit's colors during battle. Nowadays, the honor is given to the smartest young officers who excel at drill and who are physically fit. This morning, Senior Cadet Tego Frederick Ni Okain, the Senior Ensign, is carrying the national color, whilst Senior Cadet Gamo Clinton Obrimpong, the Junior Ensign, is carrying the Academy color.
And historically, only the most courageous young officers were assigned
because of their importance, colors are always protected by a detachment of elite soldiers referred to as color escorts.
And who are physically.
The color escorts for today are Officer Cadet Asante Christian, Officer Cadet Lati Ebo Ameyao, and Naval Cadet Tachi Elvis Amasi.
While Senior Cadet Gamo Clinton Obrimpong, the Junior Ensign, is carrying the Academy color.
Distinguished viewers, very soon our dignitaries will arrive, and with the colors on parade, all is set for the arrival of dignitaries.
Officer Cadet Asante Christian, Officer Cadet Lati Ebo Amiao, and Naval Cadet Techi Elvis Amesi. With the colors on parade now, all is set for the arrival of dignitaries.
Distinguished viewers, as mentioned, you are watching us live on Ghana Television from the Ghana Military Academy Square for the Ghana Military Academy 2023 Regular Career Course Intake 62 and Short Service Commission and Special Duties Course 60 graduation ceremony. This morning, a total of 292 cadets will be officially commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces for having trained for not less than 15 months for the regular career course Intake 62 and not less than 6 months for the Short Service Commission and Special Duties Course 60.
While we await the arrival of dignitaries, permit me to give you a brief profile of regular career course 62. Cadets of regular career course 62 commenced their training.
Distinguished viewers, the Ghana Military Academy, often referred to as the Academy or GMA, basically runs 2 courses. The regular career course, spanning a period of not less than 15 months, and the Short Service Commission and Special Duties course for a period of not less than 6 months.
And 67 flight cadets. Throughout the training period, 7 cadets were selected for external courses in the United Kingdom and Germany, with one of them already commissioned earlier this year. The cadets were organized into platoons according to their respective service branches, which included 1x4 Army platoons, as well as Navy and Air Force platoons. For administrative convenience, the 6 platoons were further divided into Alpha and Bravo companies. For the purposes of competitions and other ceremonial events, cadets from these platoons were assigned to the 4 traditional GMA companies, namely Abyssinia.
Distinguished viewers, a brief background of the Ghana Military Academy. The Ghana Military Academy was established on 1st April 1960 to facilitate the speedy takeover by Ghanaian officers from the British officers who were then commanding the armed forces. The first commissioning ceremony was held on 30th September 1961 for 35 officers, comprising 14 from Intake 1 and 21 from Intake 2.
Moral and spiritual values. Furthermore, the course fostered camaraderie through interplatoon competitions such as military skills contest, novices boxing competition.
Distinguished viewers, at the onset, the Ghana Military Academy had a mix of British, Canadian and Ghanaian staff. However, since 1974, the Academy has been manned entirely by Ghanaian staff who continue to produce quality leaders of character for the Ghana Armed Forces and other sister African countries.
And Lieutenant Donko.
The Ghana Military Academy has produced thousands of quality officers who have served and continue to serve in various capacities in the armed forces and elsewhere around the world. The Academy has also trained officers from sister African countries like Benin, Burkina Faso, Guinea, the Gambia, Liberia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Togo.
The platoon sergeants and warrant officers were Warrant Officer Class 2, Kweku William, Staff Sergeant Amwafo Sion Ernest, Staff Sergeant Kintakiwe Daniel, Chief Petty Officer Class 2, Nkrumah Isaac, Petty Officer Class 1, Guo Pusi Kamaradin, and Flight Sergeant Obeng Boaten Eric. Now to a profile of Short Service Commission and Special Duties Corps 60. Cadets of Short Service Commission and Special Duties Corps 60 reported to the Ghana Military Academy on 16th March 2023 to begin a 6-month training.
Distinguished viewers, very soon our dignitaries will arrive.
A total of 111 cadets, composing 79 males and 32 females, reported at GMA to commence training. In service lots, the course had 43 Army cadets, 30 Naval cadets, and 38 Air Force cadets. Unfortunately, they lost a colleague in the early stages of the training. Currently, the strength of the intake stands at 110. The intake is made up of professionals in various fields of study from various tertiary institutions across the country and beyond. The course training lasted 8 months instead of the original 6 months with 2 academic terms. During the period, these cadets have undergone rigorous physical and psychological training.
Distinguished
they went through field, tactical,
the
and
regular
navigation
career course
exercises,
intake 62
as well as
commenced their
leadership
training
lessons.
at the Ghana Military
They
Academy
underwent jungle
on
training
29th
at the
May
Jungle Warfare
2022.
School.
Currently,
They were also
the
trained
course
in
comprises
moral,
292
spiritual,
officer cadets, including
The
217
course has
males
participated
and
among themselves
75
in
females.
some competitions, such as
The composition
novice
consists
boxing
of 168 Army
senior
cadets,
teaching,
57 naval
competition,
cadets,
and
and
intercompany
67 flight
competition.
cadets. Throughout the training period,
The course commander
7
of the
cadets
course
were
was
selected for external courses in the United Kingdom and Germany,
by Captain
with one of them already commissioned earlier this year.
and Captain
The cadets were organized into platoons according to their respective service branches, which included 1 to 4 Army platoons, as well as Navy and Air Force platoons. For administrative convenience, the 6 platoons were further divided into A and B companies. For the purposes of competitions and other ceremonial events, cadets from these platoons were assigned to the 4 traditional Ghana Military Academy companies, namely Abyssinia, Burma, Chiringa, and Douala, fostering a sense of comradeship and teamwork among the cadets, irrespective of their platoons. During their rigorous training, these cadets were exposed to extensive physical and psychological conditioning. They participated in various field and tactical exercises, navigation training, as well as leadership lessons. The training curriculum also included jungle training at the Jungle Warfare School. The cadets were also taught social, moral, and spiritual values. Furthermore, the course fostered comradeship through interplatoon competitions such as military skills contest, novices boxing competition, and both junior and senior steeplechase competitions.
C'est la 4e fois qu'elle accueille une telle cérémonie. Ces élèves officiers ont l'honneur d'être les 4e d'y célébrer leur cérémonie de fin de promotion et de remise des diplômes.
Still on the history and profile of the regular career course intake 62, Captain Desmond Cyril Kluje and Captain Adam Abdul Majid were the officer commanding, with Captain Kluje assuming the role of acting course commander. They were supported by a dedicated team including Captain Kwesi Arthur Barnes, Captain Sadiq Yusuf, Captain Gershon Aneboy Tego, and Lieutenant Donko.
And the National Coordinator, Ghana Boundary Commission. Ladies and gentlemen,
distinguished viewers, first to arrive are the commandants of the training commands of the Ghana Armed Forces and the National Coordinator, Ghana Boundary Commission.
The National Coordinator, Ghana Boundary Commission, and the Commandant, Ghana Military Academy.
Distinguished viewers, arriving now
in the lead vehicle is the Commandant, Ghana Armed Forces,
are the Commandant, Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, the Commandant Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, the Commandant National College of Defense Studies, the National Coordinator, Ghana Boundary Commission, and the Commandant, Ghana Military Academy. That is the Commandant, Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Major General Bismarck Kwesi Onwuna.
His vehicle is followed by that of the Commandant of the Kofi Annan International.
He will soon be followed by the Commandant Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Major General Richard Adojani. That is the Commandant of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Major General Richard Addo Jani. Following him closely is the Commandant National College of Defense Studies, Major General Ivan Ni Ayite.
And the National Coordinator, Ghana Boundary Commission.
Last but not least, the National Coordinator, Ghana Boundary Commission just arrived, and he is in the person of Major General Emmanuel Kotia. That is the Commandant of the Ghana Military Academy, Major General Charles Kojo Abedi Asumenin Awiti. That is the Commandant, Ghana Military Academy, Major General Charles Kojo Abedi Asumenin Awiti.
General salute!
Distinguished viewers, the commandants of the training commands of the Ghana Armed Forces and the National Coordinator Ghana Boundary Commission, as well as the commandants of the Ghana Military Academy, just arrived. The tune you just heard is the Academy Anthem. It was composed by
le général de division Charles Kojo Abedi Asumeni Nawiti, le chef de commandement de l'école d'état-major des forces armées ghanéennes, le général de division Bismarck Kwesi Owona, le chef de commandement du centre international Kofi Annan, de formation au maintien de la paix, le général de division Richard Adojani, le chef de commandement de l'école nationale des études de la défense, le général de division Evan Ni Haïté et le coordinateur national des commissions territoriales ou bien des frontières du Ghana, le général de division Emmanuel Weke Kotia. Soyez les bienvenus.
The reviewing officer this morning is the President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Distinguished viewers, a profile of Major General Charles Kojo Abedi Asumenin Ewiti. Major General Charles Kojo Abedi Asumenin Awiti was commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces on 16th August 1986 as part of Regular Career Course 26.
Major General Charles Kojo Abedi Asumeni Awiti was commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces.
Charles Kojo Abedi Awiti had his primary and middle school education at the local authority Anglican primary and middle schools at Kwabing in the Eastern region and attended Jojepenyi Secondary School in the Volta region for his O-levels and Navrongo Secondary Schools in the Upper East region for his advanced level certificate examination. Arriving now is the Chief of Staff at the General Headquarters and the Service Chiefs. Leading the convoy is the Chief of Staff at the General Headquarters, Major General Nicholas Peter Addo.
He's followed by the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal.
He is followed by the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Frederick Asari Kwesi Bekwe. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Frederick Asari Bekwe, just arrived.
Rear Admiral Isa Adam Yakubu.
He is closely followed by the Chief of the Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Isa Adam Yakubu. That is the Chief of the Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Isa Adam Yakubu.
The representative of the Chief of the Army Staff, Brigadier General Matthew Essien. The Acting Chief of Army Staff.
The Acting Chief of the Army Staff, Brigadier General Matthew Essien, just arrived.
You are all most welcome, sir.
The Chief of Staff at the General Headquarters and the service chiefs just arrived.
Mesdames et messieurs, c'était le représentant du chef d'état-major de l'armée de terre, le général de brigade Matthew Essien, le chef d'état-major de la marine, le contre-amiral Issa Adam Yakubu, le chef d'état-major de l'armée de l'air, le général de division aérienne.
Distinguished viewers, the Chief of Staff, General Headquarters, and the service chiefs just arrived as mentioned earlier. The Chief of Staff at the General Headquarters is the person of Major General Nicholas Peter Addo. The Chief of the Air Staff is Air Vice Marshal Frederick Asari Kwesi Bekwe. The Chief of the Naval Staff is in the person of Rear Admiral Isa Adam Yakubu. And the Acting Chief of the Army Staff, Brigadier General Matthew Essien.
Could be maintained, regular troops could maintain a significant advantage over less organized opponents. Although the firepower of machine loading rifles and machine guns long ago rendered those formations in battle suicidal, modern armies still use praise for ceremonial purposes.
Distinguished viewers, this morning a total of 292 cadets will be officially commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces, having trained for not less than 15 months for the regular career course intake 62 and not less than 6 months for the short service commission and special duties course 60.
Arriving now is the Inspector General of Police.
Distinguished viewers, next to arrive is the Inspector General of Police and the Chief of the Defense Staff.
He is followed by the Chief of the Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama.
on your screens is the Inspector General of Police, who just arrived, and he's followed closely by the Chief of the Defense Staff. The Inspector General of Police is in the person of Dr. George Akufo-Addo, and the Chief of the Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama. Distinguished viewers, the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufo-Addo, and the Chief of the Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama, just arrived.
Mesdames et messieurs, c'était le chef d'état-major des armées, le vice-amiral Seth Amwama, et l'inspecteur général de la police ghanéenne, le docteur George Akufo-Addo. Soyez le bienvenu.
Distinguished viewers, often referred to as the Academy or GMA, the Academy basically runs two courses. The regular career course, spanning a period of not less than 15 months, and the Short Service Commission and Special Duties course for a period of 6 months. The Short Service Commission and Special Duties courses are run for persons whose specialist services are required in the Ghana Armed Forces. As mentioned earlier this morning, a total of 292 cadets will be commissioned into the various arms of the Ghana Armed Forces. Among the graduates are 75 female cadets. The reviewing officer for this morning's parade is the President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
The military band has gone through many changes and improvements under the leadership of many band officers. Notable band officers include Lieutenant Colonel Robert Bunulabi.
Distinguished viewers, a brief history of military band in the Ghana Armed Forces. Nothing feeds the military soul like music. Nothing is more joyous than a military unit marching in rank and file to martial music. Music has been used in past battles to stir and excite military personnel and for marching. It helps to maximize synergy by keeping personnel in step. The military band in Ghana traces its origins to the West African Frontier Force, just as all other units of the Ghana Armed Forces. 4 personnel, namely Sumpa Dagati, Abdullahi Dagati, Mahama Kanjaga, and Swala Sisala, were sent to the Royal Military School of Music in London for band instrumentation course.
Arriving now are the ministers for Interior, Defense and National Security.
Arriving now are the Ministers for Interior, Defense and National Security. The Minister for National Security, Honorable Albert Kandapa, just arrived.
Honorable Ambrose Berry.
That is the Minister for Defense, Honorable Dominic Nitiwo, who just arrived. With him is the Minister for Interior, Honorable Ambrose Berry. Distinguished viewers, the Ministers for Interior, Defense and National Security, in the persons of Honorable Ambrose Berry, Honorable Dominic Nitiwo, and Honorable Albert Kandapa, have arrived. Very soon we shall be joined by the Reviewing Officer, the President of the Republic, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Monsieur Ambrose Berry et le ministre d'État chargé de la sécurité nationale, Monsieur Albert Kandapa, soyez le bienvenu.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I shall now continue with the brief history of the military band in the Ghana Armed Forces. Some of the bandmasters who have distinguished themselves over the period are Warrant Officer Class 1, Anson Ade.
Distinguished viewers, this morning a total of 292 cadets will be commissioned into the various arms of the Ghana Armed Forces. Among the graduates are 75 female cadets. And the reviewing officer for this morning's parade is the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Warrant Officer Class 1,
Mensa Bright, and Warrant Officer Class 1, Asari Addo Frederick. The Senior Drum Major on parade is Staff Sergeant Kwaji Janet.
Distinguished viewers, the sword being used by the parade commander this morning is the personal sword of the late Colonel Emmanuel Osei-Wusu of Regular Career Course Intake 1 and the first senior under officer of the Academy. Throughout his life, he was affectionately called Senior Under Officer Osei-Wusu.
Is the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Distinguished viewers, very soon we shall be joined in by the reviewing officer. The reviewing officer for this year's graduation parade is the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
The sword being used by the parade commander this morning is the personal sword of the late Colonel
Emmanuel Osei-Wusu of Regular Career Course 1 and the first senior and officer of the Academy. Throughout his life, he was affectionately
the first
called
senior and officer Osei-Wusu who was the parade commander of the first graduation parade held for regular career course intakes 1 and 2, and was presented with the sword of honor for emerging as the overall best cadets during his time of training. He donated the sword to the Ghana Military Academy on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee anniversary of the Academy in 1985. Distinguished viewers, the sword is now used by graduating parade commanders and then returned to a vault in the anteroom after the parade. Our gratitude goes to the late Colonel Osei-Wusu for the gift, and may his soul continue to rest in peace.
Son Excellence Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Et pour vous renseigner, mesdames et messieurs, nous vous prions de vous lever quand le groupe fanfare commence à jouer l'hymne national et tous les personnels en tenue doivent exécuter le compliment indiqué.
Distinguished viewers, an important feature of every military parade is the custom of carrying colors or flags.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now to the history and rationale of military parades. The terminology parade comes from the tradition of close quarter battle in which soldiers were held in straight formations as to maximize their combat effectiveness. Formation combat was used as an alternative noisy, riotous combat.
In the past, each regiment or unit carried a flag into battle as a rallying point for its troops. Unlike the colors today, which bears the badges of achievement of a regiment and its crest, early flags were basically banners of just a single color, hence the term colors. Distinguished viewers, colors are so important that during battles in the past, officers and men would rather tear their colors and distribute it among themselves than have it fall in the hands of the enemy. Paying compliments to the colors is therefore a tribute to the sovereign authority of the nation or a military unit's past accomplishments and those who died for those accomplishments. Colors are awarded to a unit by the head of state at a formal and a solemn ceremony. On parade this morning are the national and the Ghana Military Academy colors, which were presented to the Academy on 17th August 1985 on the occasion of the school's Silver Jubilee by then Commander-in-Chief, former President Jerry John Rawlings. The colors were received on behalf of the units by then Cadet Sergeant Jacinse Christopher, now Brigadier General Christopher Jacinse.
Consists of 4 directions.
He was the former Ghana's defense attaché to South Africa, and Cadet Sergeant Major Ayi Moses, also now Brigadier General Moses Mohammed Ayi, retired, the immediate past general officer commanding the Northern Command. Distinguished viewers, the opportunity to carry colors is considered a great honor for a young officer, and historically, only the most courageous young officers were assigned to carry the unit colors during battle. That is the Ghana Armed Forces Mass Band on parade right there, providing a solemn tune in readiness of the President. Distinguished viewers, as mentioned earlier, this morning on parade is the Ghana Armed Forces Mass Band. The bandmaster is Lieutenant Jeremiah Kuku Forson, who was born in the western region of Ghana, to Engineer Joseph Sylvester Forson and Mrs. Sabina Mercy Forson. He had his basic education at Air Force Complex Basic School in Takoradi and proceeded to St. Mary's Boys Senior High School in Apawa, Takoradi. He pursued Bachelor of Arts in Music Education at the University of Education, Winneba, and majored in orchestration. Lieutenant Jeremiah Forson was commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces Band Corps in the year 2022 as part of regular career course intake 60. He enjoys orchestration and arranging contemporary and indigenous songs for the military band. Some of his arrangements are Stand Tall, Black Sheriff's Oil on My Head, King Promises Terminator, and Music for Gongon, composed in the year 1971 by famous Afro-rock music group Osibisa, which are all yet to be rendered by the band this morning. Distinguished viewers, if you just tuned in, you are watching us live on Ghana Military. You are watching us live on Ghana Television from the Ghana Military Academy Square for the Ghana Military Academy 2023 Regular Career Course Intake 62 and Short Service Commission and Special Duties Course 60 Graduation Ceremony. This morning, a total of 292 cadets will be officially commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces, having trained for not less than 15 months for the regular career course intake 62 and not less than 6 months for the short service commission and special duties course 60. Distinguished viewers, that is the Ghana Armed Forces Mass Band right there, providing us with some solemn tunes while we await the arrival of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is also the reviewing officer for this morning's parade. Distinguished viewers, still on the history of the band, it will interest you to know that most of the marches for this year's graduation were arranged for the mass band by Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Gerard Mawa, Captain Peter Amwa, Captain Foster Opoku-Jan, Lieutenant Roland Ojo, Lieutenant Jeremiah Forson, and Senior Warrant Officer Class 2, Dali.
Thank you very much, the band. A brief profile of the band officer.
Distinguished viewers, the Ghana Military Academy is often referred to as the Academy or GMA, and it basically runs two courses. The regular career course, which spans from a period of not less than 15 months, and the short service commission and special duties course for a period of 6 months. The short service commission and special duties courses are run for persons whose specialist services are required in the Ghana Armed Forces.
By the famous Afro rock music group Usibisa, which are all yet to be rendered this morning by the band. It will interest you to know that most of the marches for this year's graduation were arranged for the mass band.
Distinguished viewers, the band on parade this morning is under the leadership of Lieutenant Jeremiah Kuku-Forson, and he's assisted by Chief Petty Officer Class 1 Boachi Emmanuel, Warrant Officer Class 1 Mensa Bright, and Warrant Officer Class 1 Asare Addo Frederick. The senior drum major on parade this morning is Staff Sergeant Kweji Janet. The fanfare team is also made up of personnel from the Ghana Army, Ghana Navy, and the Ghana Air Force, and is under the command of Chief Petty Officer Class 1, Damil Patrick.
The team of drum majors are Staff Sergeant Kwaji Addo Janet, Corporal Menu Emmanuel.
The team of drum majors this morning are Staff Sergeant Kwaji Addo Janet, Corporal Menu Emmanuel, Leading Seaman Agbejudo Courage Tete, Leading Seaman Apia Asantwa Eunice, Leading Aircraftman Ayiko Yebua Angela, Private Nunekpeku Amanda, Private Amewu Noble Gabriel Kojo, and Private Yusuf Mamata. Distinguished viewers, at the international level, the band continues to bring great credit and honor to the armed forces and our dear nation with their spectacular performances in other sister African countries such as Benin, Burkina Faso, Central African Republic, Libya, Nigeria, Senegal, Togo, and Uganda. Distinguished viewers, the mass band on parade this morning is made up of students of the newly promulgated Armed Forces Music School, the Ghana Navy, and the Air Force bands. The mass band has become one of the numerous key instruments used by the Ghana Armed Forces to promote good civil-military relations both internally and externally. Distinguished viewers, the band provides melodious renditions at all national parades and ceremonies. Distinguished viewers, it will interest you to know that we have two personnel from the Armed Forces of Liberia as part of the Armed Forces Music School band on parade this morning. They are Sergeant Kamara Muya and Corporal Richards Darling. Certainly, the band, the Ghana Armed Forces, and indeed the entire nation will forever be grateful to Sunkwa Dagati, Abdullahi Dagati, Mahama Kanjaga, Swala Sisala, Captain Featherstone, Major Dame Adams, and Major Adams for their invaluable contribution to the military band in Ghana.
Among the graduates are 75 female cadets. At the end of today's graduation ceremony, copies of the parade will be made available at the reception area near the Officer Cadet Net. Individuals who wish for copies later may leave their contact details at the sales point. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are kindly reminded that only accredited media personnel will be allowed on the square at the appropriate time. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
The president is coming. The president.
Distinguished viewers, very soon we shall be joined in by the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is also the reviewing officer for this morning's parade.
Is the reviewing officer, the President of the Republic, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Distinguished viewers, arriving now is the reviewing officer, the President of the Republic, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That is the fanfare team that is playing tunes to welcome the President.
Shall we please rise to welcome him and remain standing for the national salute. All personnel in uniform are reminded to please pay the appropriate compliments.
Distinguished viewers, the President just arrived and he is the reviewing officer for this morning's graduation parade. That is the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. On his arrival, the national anthem will be played, which will require that all be upstanding with personnel in uniform paying the appropriate compliment. That is the reviewing officer for this morning's graduation parade.
Presidential salute!
That was the national salute that was played to welcome the arrival of the President.
the parade commander, senior under officer, our Jacob Vanderpool.
Distinguished viewers, the parade commander, senior under officer, our Jacob Vanderpool, will invite the reviewing officer to inspect the parade. That is the parade commander, senior under officer, our Jacob Vanderpool, who is marching majestically to invite the reviewing officer, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is the President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, to inspect the parade.
Good morning, Mr. President. Ghana Military Academy 2023 regular career course intake 62 and short service commission oblique special duty intake 60 graduation parade formed up. 2 officers, 292 graduating cadets, 98 regular career course intake 63 junior cadets, 7 permanent staff, and the armed forces mass band on parade, ready for inspection. Senior under officer, our Jacob Vanderpool, reporting, Mr. President.
Distinguished viewers, the parade commander, senior under officer, our Jacob Vanderpool, has invited the President of the Republic to inspect the parade.
The parade commander, senior under officer, our Jacob Vanderpool, has invited the President of the Republic to inspect the parade.
The President is accompanied by the Chief of the Defense Staff, the Commandant Ghana Military Academy, the President's aide-de-camp, and the Academy Sergeant Major. Distinguished viewers, if you just tuned in, you are watching us live on Ghana Television from the Ghana Military Academy Square for the Ghana Military Academy 2023 regular career course intake 62 and short service commission and special duties course intake 60 graduation ceremony. Distinguished viewers, the Ghana Military Academy, often referred to as the Academy or GMA, basically runs 2 courses. The regular career course spanning a period of not less than 15 months and the short service commission and special duties course for a period of not less than 6 months. Distinguished viewers, that is the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, who also doubles as the reviewing officer for this morning's parade, and his team inspecting the various contingents on parade. Distinguished viewers, during the training of these cadets, they were exposed to extensive physical and psychological conditioning. They participated in a number of activities at the academy. The training curriculum also included jungle training at the Jungle Warfare School. The cadets were also taught social, moral, and spiritual values. Furthermore, the course fostered comradeship through inter-platoon competitions such as military skills, novices boxing training, and both junior and senior steeplechase competitions. That is the reviewing officer, President of the Republic, and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, with the Chief of the Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama, the Commandant, Ghana Military Academy, the President's aide-de-camp, and the Academy Sergeant Major, who are inspecting the various contingents on parade. Distinguished viewers, during the course of the training, some course officers helped in the training of these cadets, and they include Captain Desmond Cyril Kluje and Captain Adam Abdul Majid. Captain Kluje assumed the role of acting course commander, and they were ably supported by a dedicated team, including Captain Kwesi Arthur Barnes, Captain Sadiq Yusuf of regular career course intake 57, Captain Gershon Aneboy Tego, and Lieutenant Donko. Other notable officials included Lieutenant Commander Samuel Saba, Naval Lieutenant Felix Inketia, who was later succeeded by Naval Lieutenant Kali Richardis Anabiatia, Flight Lieutenant Carl Achu Olaboy, Flight Lieutenant Banda, and Flight Lieutenant Stephen Adai. Distinguished viewers, the reviewing officer is done inspecting the contingent on parade and will very soon inspect the Ghana Armed Forces Mass Band. That is the reviewing officer for this morning's parade, the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, with the Chief of the Defense Staff and Senior Under Officer Awatri Vanderpoy, who just finished with inspection of the various contingents on parade.
The inspection is over, and the parade commander will now ask permission from the reviewing officer to continue with the rest of the parade.
Distinguished viewers, inspection is over, and the parade commander will now ask permission from the President to continue with the rest of the parade.
Mr. President, inspection over. May I have your permission? Carry on with the parade. Mr. President.
Permission has just been granted by the reviewing officer for the parade commander to continue with the rest of the parade.
Permission has been granted by the reviewing officer to the parade commander to continue with the rest of the parade.
Sequence of maneuvering to take the shape of the harp. To pay the appropriate compliments to the reviewing officer and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. The harp is a musical instrument consisting of a frame supporting a graduated series of parallel strings, played by plucking with the fingers. Each string, when struck, produces a note with a gradation of string length from shot to shot, corresponding to high and low pitches respectively.
The resonator of a harp is usually made of wood or skin, and it produces a soothing and relaxing sound which massages the entire body. Its tranquility can refresh the body and
Distinguished
spirit.
Viewers, very soon the band will commence trooping in slow and quick time in a pre-arranged sequence of maneuvering to take up the shape of a harp to pay the highest compliments to the reviewing officer and commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Distinguished viewers, the mass band on parade this morning is made up of students of the newly promulgated Armed Forces Music School.
At the international level, the band continues to and honor to the armed forces in our field with a spectacular performance in Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Burkina Faso, Central African Republic, Nigeria,
Distinguished viewers, that is the Ghana Armed Forces Mass Band on parade, trooping in slow time. That is a pre-arranged sequence of maneuvering. They will very soon take up the shape of a harp to pay the highest compliments to the reviewing officer and commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
From the Armed Forces of Liberia as part of the Armed Forces Music School Band of Parade this morning. They are Sergeant Kamara Buya and Corporal Richard Stanley. Certainly, the band, the Ghana Armed Forces, and the entire nation, forever be grateful to Super Dagati, Abdullah Dagati, Mahama Kanjaga, Swala Sisala.
That is a spectacular display that is being demonstrated there by the Ghana Armed Forces Mass Band. Indeed, nothing feeds the military soul like music, and nothing is more joyous than a military unit marching in rank and file to martial music. Music has been used in past battles to stir and excite military personnel and for marching. It helps to maximize synergy by keeping personnel in step. The military band in Ghana traces its origins to to the West African Frontier Force, just as all other units of the Ghana Armed Forces. Distinguished viewers, it will interest you to know that we have 2 personnel from the Armed Forces of Nigeria as part of the Armed Forces Music School Band this morning. They are Sergeant Kamara Huya and Corporal Richard Stalin. Certainly, the band, the Ghana Armed Forces, and indeed the entire nation will forever be grateful to Supa Dagati, Abdullahi Dagati, Mahama Kanjaga, Swala Sisala, Captain Fida Stone, Major Adams for their invaluable contribution to the military band in Ghana. Distinguished viewers, that is a pre-arranged quick time sequence of maneuvering of the band to take up the position or the shape of a harp, and that is to pay the highest compliments to the reviewing officer and commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. The harp is a musical instrument consisting of a frame supporting a graduated series of parallel strings played by plucking with the fingers. Each string, when plucked, strikes a note with a graduation of string attached from short to length corresponding to high and low pitches respectively. Its tranquility can refresh the body and spirit and aid in healing by providing an atmosphere of comfort, warmth, and safety. That was a spectacular display by the band.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now witness the march past in slow and quick time.
Right! Woman pass in slow and quick time.
Distinguished viewers, we shall now witness the parade in slow and quick time. Distinguished viewers, this morning our proud graduating cadets will be displaying movements such as kiss the sword, recover, salute, merging and splitting, among others.
This morning, our proud graduating cadets will be displaying movements such as
we are currently witnessing the splitting and merging of the contingent, which shall very soon be shown on your screens. And the aim of this movement is to mimic the level of alertness of troops in combat to quickly reorganize having completed a task. That is the formation right there on your screens. The splitting and merging of their contingents. That is Junior Under Officer Frimpong right there. That is a team of flight cadets who shall very soon be commissioned as officers into the Ghana Armed Forces.
Approaching the dais now
Armed Forces Mass Band under the command of Lieutenant Jeremiah.
That is a team of graduating cadets made up of regular career course intake 62. Approaching the days now is the Armed Forces Mass Band under the command of Lieutenant Jeremiah Kuku Forsen. And they are closely followed by the graduating contingents, who shall very soon become commissioned officers of the Ghana Armed Forces. That is the Armed Forces Mass Band right there on your screens, providing us with spectacular approaching the days is the graduating contingent. The number 1 division is made up of Army cadets and under the command of Cadet Company Sergeant Major Ifa Bright Ajin. In front of them is the parade commander, Senior Under Officer Awatrin Jacob Vanderpoy, and the parade second in command, Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther.
Esther. Following closely is the number 2 division, also made up of Army cadets of the graduating intake, under the command of Cadet
Army cadets of the graduating intake, under the command of Cadet Quartermaster Sergeant Friar Kingsley. The number 2 contingent is made up of naval cadets under the command of Cadet Corporal Dogbe Delali Nuneke. The naval cadets, smartly dressed in their white, is under the command of Cadet Corporal Dogbe Delali Nuneke. Right behind them is the color party, and anytime the colors passes by, all are required to rise to pay the appropriate compliments. This morning, Senior Cadet Tego Frederick Ni Okine is carrying the national color, and Senior Cadet Gamo Clinton Obrimpong is carrying the academy color. That is the number 2 graduating contingent, made up of naval cadets under the command of Cadet Corporal Dogbe Delali Nuneke. Right behind the number 2 contingent is the color party. As mentioned earlier, anytime the color or the colors passes by, all are required to rise to pay the appropriate compliments. Senior Cadet Tego Frederick Ni Okine is carrying the national color, and Senior Cadet Gamo Clinton Obrimpong is carrying the academy color. The color escorts are Officer Cadet Asante Christian, Officer Cadet Late Ebo Ameyao, and Naval Cadet Techi Elvis Amasi. That is the ceremonial parade adjutant in the person of Captain Sadiq Yusuf on the horse Ice.
This is exactly what the graduates are fighting for. While expecting pride in their performance. After that, the math path was developed to enhance the movement of troops from one place to another.
Distinguished viewers, the number 3 graduating contingent is an Air Force contingent, which is under the command of Flight Cadet Quartermaster Mavis. That is the number 3 graduating contingent, an Air Force contingent under the command of Flight Cadet Corte Mavis. Following is the number 3 division under the command of Junior Under Officer Kweku Felix. The number 4 division is also under the command of Cadet Company Sergeant Major Ago Anthony. Distinguished viewers, it is said that a ceremonial drill impeccably executed can never fail to be a source of excitement to those who watch it or take part in it. And this is exactly what the graduates are striving to achieve while expressing pride in their performance. History has it that the march past was developed to enhance the movement of troops from one place to another without getting mixed up with other troops. These graduating cadets are required to maintain well-calculated steps, intervals, and distance as they march from one point to the other. Hence, body and mind must coordinate currently to achieve this. Very soon we shall transition from slow to quick time. Distinguished viewers, you are watching us live on Ghana television from the Ghana Military Academy Square for the Ghana Military Academy 2023 regular career course, intake 62, and short service commission and special duties course 60 graduation ceremony. This morning, a total of 292 cadets will be officially commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces, having trained for not less than 15 months for the regular career course intake 62 and not less than 6 months for the short service commission and special duties course 60. Approaching the days is the number 1 division made up of Army cadets under the command of Cadet Company Sergeant Major Efa Bright Ejin. It is closely followed by the number 2 division made up of Army cadets of the graduating contingent and is under the command of Cadet Quartermaster Sergeant Friar Kingsley. Next is the number 2 graduating contingent, which is made up of naval cadets under the command of Cadet Corporal Dogbe Delali Nuneke. Behind them is the color party with the senior cadet Tego Frederick Ni Okain carrying the national color and senior cadet Gamo Clinton Obrimpong carrying the academy color. That is the number 3 graduating contingent, which is an Air Force contingent under the command of Flight Lieutenant, under the command of Flight Cadet Corte Mavis. That is the number 3 division, and it is under the command of Junior Under Officer Kweku Felix. We have the number 4 division, which is also under the command of Cadet Company Sergeant Major Ago Anthony. The reviewing officer and the high command are taking the appropriate compliments from these graduating cadets. We also have on parade the number 1 escort contingent, also commanded by Cadet Regimental Quartermaster Sergeant Fuji Denku Mighty Herbert. That is the ceremonial parade adjutant right there. Distinguished viewers, this morning a total of 292 cadets will be officially commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces, having trained for not less than 15 months for the regular career course intake 62 and not less than 6 months for the Short Service Commission and Special Duties course 60. That is the number 1 escort contingent, commanded by Cadet Regimental Quartermaster Sergeant Fuji Denku Mighty Herbert, and the number 2 escort contingent under the command of Cadet Company Quartermaster Sergeant Kusi Moses Akwa. Distinguished viewers, throughout the training period, 7 cadets were selected for external courses in the United Kingdom and Germany, with one of them already commissioned earlier this year. The cadets were organized into platoons according to their respective service branches, which included 1 and 4 Army platoons, as well as Navy and Air Force platoons. For administrative convenience, the 6 platoons were further divided into A and B companies. For the purposes of competitions and other ceremonial events, cadets from these platoons were assigned to the 4 traditional Ghana military academy companies, namely Abyssinia, Burma, Chiringa, and Douala, fostering a sense of comradeship and teamwork among the cadets irrespective of their platoons. Distinguished viewers, the graduating cadets will soon advance in review order. Distinguished viewers, that is the graduating cadets with their escorts on parade, who will very soon advance in review order. That is the advance in review order, which is well spelled out. That was a beautiful display by the graduating cadets, who will soon become commissioned officers of the Ghana Armed Forces. At this point, all personnel are to rise for the national salute, with personnel in uniform paying the appropriate compliment.
National salute!
Was a fly past by the number 4 squadron of the Ghana Air Force with a K-8 fighter jet, painting the skies with the Academy's colors green and white. The flight formation you just witnessed is known as a strike formation. The lead aircraft is captained by Squadron Leader Ebenezer Chumesi Frimpong, with Squadron Leader Seth Ofosu Okwi as his co-pilot. The wingman is Squadron Leader Che Bafo, and he is ably assisted by Squadron Leader Reginald Kenny as his co-pilot. The forward air controllers are Squadron Leader Kobina Amponsatete and Squadron Leader Azamela. Distinguished viewers, the parade commander will now seek permission from the reviewing officer to stand the parade at ease for the presentation of awards and the delivery of his address.
March past over. May I have your permission to stand the parade at ease for presentation of awards and delivery of speech, Mr. President.
Permission has been granted, and Senior Under Officer Awatri Vanderpoy will soon take position on parade to stand the parade at ease for presentation of awards and delivery of his address.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the presentation of awards. Marching briskly into position are the table orderlies, Lance Corporal Pepra Gideon and leading aircraftsman Koyiri Stanley, both physical training instructors of this academy.
Distinguished viewers, it is time for the presentation of awards, and the soldiers who just marched briskly to take position are the table orderlies, Lance Corporal Pepra Gideon and leading aircraftman Koyiri Stanley, both physical training instructors of the academy. Distinguished viewers, during the course of the training of the graduating intake, some cadets performed exceptionally well, and their efforts will be rewarded today. This year, the awards to be presented are Best Allied Cadet Award, the Academic Cane, the Military Cane, and the Sword of Honor. That is the Academy Sergeant Major, Master Warrant Officer Gani Frederick, who is marching briskly into position for the presentation of awards. And once he is in position, he will call the award winners to the front. That is the Academy Sergeant Major, Master Warrant Officer Gani Frederick. Who just called the award winners to the front. That is Junior Under Officer Frimpong, marching briskly right there, together with some parade appointments.
All is now set for the presentation of awards, and this will be done by the reviewing officer, assisted by the Commandant, Ghana Military Academy.
Distinguished viewers, the presentation of awards will be done by the reviewing officer, who will be assisted by the Commandant, Ghana Military Academy.
who has the honor? Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, the first award
the President of the Republic, who is also the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the reviewing officer for this morning's parade, has taken his position together with the Commandant, Ghana Military Academy, Major General Charles Awiti. Distinguished viewers, the first award is to be presented to the Best Allied Cadets Award. The award is presented to the best foreign cadets in order of merit amongst the cadets of the regular career course intake 62. The award goes to Senior Cadet Kamara Alpha Yaya. Indeed, it is an honor and a privilege to receive an award from the President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Senior Cadet Kamara Alpha Yaya hails from Guinea. He was born on 31st October 1998 in Conakry to Mr. Sidi Yaya and Mrs. Kamara Mariama. He had his secondary education at Military Preparatory and Technical School of Binjaville in La Côte d'Ivoire 2017. He then proceeded to the University of Kofi Annan in Guinea to pursue a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics and graduated in 2022. Senior Kamara Alpha Yaya likes swimming, playing basketball, and watching movies in his free time. Distinguished viewers, the next award is the Academic Cane, which is a symbol of academic excellence. The Academic Cane is awarded to the cadets who placed third in the cumulative order of merit and is a symbol of academic excellence. The recipient of this award is Junior Under Officer Podo George Delali. Junior Under Officer Podo George Delali, who hails from Agbozume in the Volta region. He was born on the 15th of March 1997 to Mr. Julius Podo and Mrs. Eunice Teria Podo. He had his secondary education at Infantipim School, after which he gained admission into the University of Ghana to pursue a Bachelor of Science degree in dietetics. Junior Under Officer Podo George Delali likes listening to music and playing football at his leisure time.
Junior Under Officer Podo likes listening to music and playing football in his leisure time.
That is Junior Under Officer Podo George Delali, who is marching to take his position on parade after receiving his award. Distinguished viewers, the next award to be presented is the Military Cane. The Military Cane is a symbol of initiative, sharpness, and decisiveness. It is awarded to the cadets who placed second in order of merit and are judged the best in military skills and military order of merit from the graduating intake. The recipient of this award is Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther. It will interest you to know that Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther also received an award during the religious parade which was held last 2 weeks. Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther hails from Asante Mampong in the Ashanti region. She was born on the 28th of February 1996 at Accra to Mr. Collins Frimpong Manson and Madam Selina Ya Ajiman. She had her basic education at the West End International School, where she graduated in 2010. She then proceeded to Holy Child School, where she studied general arts. Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther later gained admission to study at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where she obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree in Sociology and Geography. Her hobbies are cooking, driving, and reading. Her favorite quote is, "If it must be done, it must be done well." As mentioned earlier, this is the second award she has picked up, having previously received the Chief of the Air Staff Award during the graduation religious parade held last Sunday. This is a great feat which should spur on young girls on and even encourage more women out there to join the Ghana Armed Forces. Distinguished viewers, the ultimate award for this year's graduation parade goes to Senior Under Officer Awotri Vanderpoy. The ultimate award is an award to every cadet, which also shows the highest honor bestowed on a cadet, and that is the Sword of Honor. It is a symbol of exemplary leadership qualities. The Sword of Honor is presented to the cadets adjudged the best all-round cadet in regular career course 62. That is Senior Under Officer Awotri Jacob Vanderpoy, marching majestically with his Sword of Honor, which simplifies or signifies an exemplary leadership quality. Senior Under Officer Awotri Jacob Vanderpoy hails from Elmina in the Central Region, and he was born on the 25th January 1997 in Obuasi, Ashanti Region, to Mr. Daniel Teria Awotri and Nana Addo the First. He had his basic education at Ave Maria School and proceeded to the Pope John Senior High School and Minor Seminary, where he studied general science with electives in chemistry, biology, physics, and elective maths. In 2015, he gained admission to study earth science at the University of Ghana and graduated in 2019 with a second-class upper honors division. His hobbies include swimming, watching football, and reading. Distinguished viewers, the President has finished presenting the awards to these cadets who performed exceptionally well during the course of the training.
And finally, the Chief of the Army Staff Prize presented to Cadet Quartermaster Sergeant Shay Millicent Oye for being the best Army cadet.
Distinguished viewers, some of the cadets on parade also won awards which were presented during the graduation dinner and graduation religious parade held on the 3rd and 12th November respectively. Notable amongst these cadets were the Chief of the Defense Staff Prize presented to Junior Under Officer Kweku Felix for being the best cadet for the Short Service Commission and Special Duties course. The Chief of the Air Staff Prize, which was presented to Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther for being the best flight cadet from the graduating intake, as mentioned earlier. The Chief of the Naval Staff Prize was also presented to Cadet Sergeant Abrokwa Priscilla for being the best midshipman from the graduating intake. The Chief of the Army Staff Prize was also presented to Cadet Quartermaster Sergeant Shay Millicent Oye for being the best Army cadet from the graduating intake.
Où il a obtenu son baccalauréat en 2017 et finalement rejoint les rangs des militaires en 2018. Après les études secondaires, il a procédé aux études universitaires à Kofi Annan de Guinée où il a fait la science économique et a obtenu sa licence en 2020. Mesdames et messieurs, le prix honorifique de marque
Distinguished viewers, very soon, the reviewing officer will deliver his address and the conferment of the Presidential Commission.
Est décerné au major de la promotion. En général, il est le meilleur élève officier de la formation. En 2023, vous êtes rappelé que certains élèves officiers à la place d'armes ont déjà reçu le prix pendant leur dîner et leur cérémonie religieuse.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the reviewing officer's address
and conferment of the Presidential Commission. Once again, it is my singular honor to respectfully invite the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to deliver his address.
Distinguished viewers,
Mr. President,
the reviewing officer has been invited to deliver his address and the conferment of the Presidential Commission.
Minister for Defense and Member of Parliament for Bimbila, Minister for National Security, the Minister for the Interior and Member of Parliament for Nandong, the Deputy Minister for Defense and Member of Parliament for Achimakwamwa, Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police, Acting Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Naval Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Staff of the General Headquarters of the Ghana Armed Forces, Commandant of the Military Academy and Training Schools, Commander of the Ghana Military Academy, the National Security Advisor, the National Security Coordinator, senior military officers, active and retired, officers, men, women, and civilian employees of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Dean and members of the Diplomatic Corps, the traditional rulers, officer cadets, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be a part of this year's graduation parade for the regular Career Corps 62 and the Short Service Commission Special Duty Intake 60. The spectacular display this morning by the cadets is testament to the months of dedication and commitment to their training at this academy. And I must confess that it's only one of the segments of the graduation ceremonies that I look forward to every year. The smart and well-coordinated drills and formations, as well as the prompt responsiveness of the contingents to the parade commander's orders, are reflections of the high standard of training these young men and women have gone through. I know that all gathered here, particularly family members, and indeed those watching from afar, are proud of this display. The credit for this feat goes firstly to the Armed Forces High Command, then to the Commandant of the Military Academy, and finally to his tireless instructors who, through devotion and sacrifice, have turned these cadets into officers of quality, ready to contribute their quota to the development of the Ghana Armed Forces. To say the least, the Military Academy has remained resolute and well-focused on achieving its mandate, notwithstanding some challenges with which it has and is confronted. Ladies and gentlemen, today's parade is a special one. The number of officers being commissioned into service is the highest in the history of the Ghana Armed Forces. On parade are 292 cadets, including 2 allied cadets from the Republic of Guinea, who are all poised to be commissioned into their respective armed forces. Coincidentally, today also marks the joint commissioning of both regular career course cadets and short service special duty cadets after the disruption of the Academy's calendar by COVID-19. Considering the complexities of training such large numbers and their impact on human resources and available logistics, this is no mean feat. The Commandant and his staff have worked hard and have truly demonstrated the meaning of the Academy's motto: service, devotion, and sacrifice. The commissioning of such a large number of officers into the armed forces, at this time when resources are limited, is to put ourselves in readiness for the emerging security threats the country is facing today. The security situation in West Africa, particularly in the Sahel, requires that we improve the entire security architecture of the country. Government is resolute on the need to institute measures that will safeguard the territorial integrity and security of our nation, so as to guarantee the peace Ghana continuously enjoys in the region. The armed forces, whose responsibility is to safeguard the territorial integrity of the country, is proportionally spread across the country, maintaining continuous surveillance and capability in readiness to respond effectively to any threat from anywhere to the security of Ghana. In supporting this mandate, I have in recent times approved a number of measures for the expansion of our nation's armed forces. The newly promulgated establishments and units include the National College of Defense Studies, 12 Mechanized Battalion Unit, and the Sergeant Major's Academy. Similarly, the Directorates of Military Records and Public Relations have been upgraded to departments. The Air Force, Headquarters Support Services Brigade Group in Burma Camp, and the Armed Forces Medical Corps have also been expanded. Additionally, I have approved the promulgation of the Ghana Armed Forces Central Band, Armed Forces Musical School, Armed Forces Fire Service, the School of Ordnance, and the Artillery Training School after they were reviewed. The latter are expected to enhance the armed forces' capabilities to deal decisively with contemporary threats within and outside the country. The imminent threats in the northern part of Ghana have necessitated the establishment of forward operating and logistics bases along our entire northern border. So far, government has awarded contracts for the construction of 12 forward operating bases and 3 logistic bases to help contain the threats emanating from across our northern frontiers. These operating bases, which are at various stages of completion, will be resourced with adequate personnel and logistics to deal with such threats that have the potential to disrupt the peace and stability of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, the recently established National College of Defense Studies is in fulfillment of the pledge I made in the 2022 General Headquarters, Wasa. Till date, the Armed Forces Staff Command and Staff College has offered the highest level of professional military education in Ghana. That is the Senior Staff Course. The course prepared officers for operational level command and staff appointments. Training for strategic level appointments and staff responsibilities, on the other hand, was provided by partner countries abroad. This limited the number of senior officers who received strategic training in the armed forces due to the high cost of undertaking such training abroad. In view of this, and pursuant to Section 29(1) of the Education Regulatory Bodies Act 2020, Act 1023, I directed the Ministry of Defense and the Military High Command to establish a National College of Defense Studies, equivalent to a war college, and the National Defense University. Consequently, the Armed Forces initiated the process for the grant of a presidential charter for the establishment of the National Defense University, which is at an advanced stage. I must state here that in fulfillment of my directives, the Armed Forces have established the War College to prepare selected senior military officers and civilians, working with defense and national security establishments in ministries, departments, and agencies in Ghana and allied African countries for strategic level command and staff appointments. The program at the National College of Defense Studies aims to produce graduates imbued with leadership, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills required to address Ghana and Africa's complex security challenges. It will also build the capacity of selected senior military officers, ability to conduct scientific research in military science, defense studies, strategic studies, international relations, and other related subjects. The college will offer master's and doctoral programs to officers and civilians working with the national security, defense establishments, ministry departments and agencies in Ghana and allied African countries. To help realize its focus and aims, Ghana government has embarked on extensive infrastructural development, including the construction of an office complex for the college. Additionally, a team of officers visited the Royal College of Defense Studies in the United Kingdom for benchmarking studies. In partial fulfillment of sections 19(1) and 2 of Act 1023, the National College of Defense Studies has been granted institutional and program accreditations by the Ghana Tertiary Educational Council for the commencement of the program, scheduled for the end of November this year. The maiden course of the college is scheduled to start on 27th November 2023. That is in 10 days' time. I've directed that the National Defense University be established early next year. The university will be a multidisciplinary higher education institution that would educate personnel of the armed forces, other security agencies, governmental departments and agencies, and foreign military personnel. It is envisaged that it will conduct scientific research in military science, defense and strategic studies, international relations and related subjects, and also serve as a modern research and educational center for the conduct of long-term research, capacity building, and policy shaping in the field of defense and security, as well as current analysis and strategic studies for various state institutions. The university will offer these courses at graduate, postgraduate, diploma, and doctoral levels. In this regard, the university will be the overarching institution for all other existing institutions of higher education within the armed forces, and will establish campuses at the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, the National College of Defense Studies, the Ghana Military Academy, and the Ghana Armed Forces Training and Doctrine Command. To announce that the Ghana Tertiary Educational Council is in the final stages of preparing the necessary documentation for a presidential charter for the establishment of the university to be granted by the end of this year. As we celebrate the achievements of our cadets, who are future guardians of Ghana's peace and sovereignty, we must also reflect on Ghana's enviable legacy in international peacekeeping. Ghana's commitment to global peace and security dates back to 1960, when Ghana, for the first time, participated in the United Nations peacekeeping force deployed in the then Republic of Congo, now the Democratic Republic of Congo. Since then, Ghana has remained committed and dedicated to the cause of peace, either under the banners of the United Nations, the African Union, or the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Today, Ghana is ranked the 9th largest troop contributing country by the United Nations in peace support operations. Globally, Ghana is involved in 15 peacekeeping missions with a deployed strength of over 2,500 military personnel. Currently, Ghana has presence in Lebanon, South Sudan, Abyei in the Sudan, the Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Syria, Cyprus, and the Central African Republic. Others are Libya, Western Sahara / Morocco, Yemen, Somalia, and until recently Mali, where our engineer company recently started withdrawing following the enforcement of United Nations Security Council Resolution 2690. It is worth noting that our deployment has been accompanied by gender parity, making the Ghana Armed Forces the standard bearer in deployment of female personnel in respect of formed troops across missions. As a result, Ghana has exceeded the United Nations targets for gender deployment. In respect of formed troops, Ghana has deployed 19% females, exceeding the United Nations target of 9%, and 23.3% for staff officers and military observers, exceeding the UN target of 14.21%. In helping to maintain peace and security, our men and women in uniform are exposed to the negative effects of wars and undemocratic changes of government. It is therefore praiseworthy that the armed forces continue to pledge their support to our democratic system of governance in the face of coups d'etats across the region. I commend the continuing dedication of our armed forces to upholding constitutional rule in our country. The sacrifices and efforts they have made have imprinted Ghana's name globally in the history of peacekeeping. To our graduating cadets, you're being commissioned at the time that the region is facing heightened security threats that have the tendency to erode the gains made. I challenge and encourage you to be committed in maintaining the democratic legacy that your predecessors have set. You must resolve to carry on with it with pride. Ladies and gentlemen, last year I communicated my government's resolve to upgrade and expand the infrastructure of the Academy to bring it to world-class standards. I'm pleased to say that we have not reneged on this commitment. A 3-story, 246-room officer cadets hostel, a 16 2-bedroom apartment officer accommodation for platoon commanders, and a 4 2-bedroom apartments half-compound accommodation for senior non-commissioned instructors had been fully completed. In fact, cadets have already moved into the new hostel, with each cadet occupying a self-contained room, unlike the old cadets' accommodation that had an average of 2 cadets to a room. The completion of the hostel has eased significantly cadet accommodation challenges and also paved the way for increased enrollment. Additionally, the construction of a 720-seating capacity Academy auditorium on the western end of Academy Square has been completed. Notwithstanding these completed projects, government is not oblivious of other infrastructural needs of the Academy. The need for an additional lecture block, quarter guard, armory, rappelling tower, and sports complex, including a swimming pool, will also be addressed in due course. Government has not limited infrastructure development to the Academy alone. We have assured equitable and fair distribution of resources across the armed forces. Units have seen upgrades as well as retooling of facilities to ensure that personnel are equipped to perform their duties efficiently. I must perforce announce that through government's efforts, a delegation from the European Union paid a courtesy call on the Military High Command in September this year to deepen collaboration with and support for the Ghana Armed Forces. One such area identified for support is health. Health was prioritized because, as we will all acknowledge, a healthy force equals a strong force. The European Union would therefore be critical care and emergency hospital within the next 6 months. In particular, the support will include a fully equipped operation theater, a cardiac catheter laboratory, and a computerized tomography scanner. These facilities will not only benefit personnel of the forces, they will go a long way to improve health delivery in the country as a whole. To complement this, government is working hard to complete and operationalize the Kumasi Military Hospital. To this end, employment of 970 defense civilian staff began early this year. This is to ensure that adequate staff are in place and the hospital is fully operational immediately after commissioning. To register government seriousness, employment letters have been issued to most of these staffs. Others are at various stages of recruitment. With respect to equipment, government has also immensely improved on equipment holdings both within and outside Ghana. Government through the Ministry of Defense has signed a contract with the United Kingdom for the testing, repair, refurbishment and delivery of 70 Husky mobility vehicles. These vehicles are to augment the fleet in the various services. Government has retooled some of the peacekeeping missions abroad by enhancing their logistics. With respect to the United Nations Interim Force in Abyei, government has procured and supplied state-of-the-art armored personnel carriers, troop-carrying vehicles, engineer equipment, and special-purpose vehicles. In the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, Ghana was adjudged the first nation to meet the new statement of unit procurement. Government has also enhanced the resources of UNIFIL Ganbad by purchasing 52 Terrier LT-79 high-mobility light tactical vehicles, 15 Toyota Land Cruiser Mark II, and other critical specialist equipment. These efforts will not only enhance our operational capabilities, but also cement Ghana's reputation as a dedicated and well-equipped contributor to global peacekeeping missions. Concluding, I'd like you to please join me to commend and congratulate the award recipients on their sterling performances. My congratulations go to Senior Under Officer Awatri Jacob Vanderpoy, who received the Sword of Honor, being adjudged the overall best cadet of the regular career course intake 62. I also commend Junior Under Officer Frimpong Esther and Junior Under Officer Godo George Delali for receiving the military and academic canes respectfully. I finally applaud Senior Cadet Kamara Alpha Yaya for being adjudged the best allied cadet. On vous doit beaucoup de félicitations, Monsieur Kamara Alpha Yaya. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you to please rise for the conferment of the Presidential Commission on the Graduating Officer Cadets.
Right! Right! Shut!
By the powers vested in me by the Constitution of the Republic, I, as President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, do hereby grant you the Graduating Officer Cadets of Regular Career Course 62 and Short Service Commission Special Duties Intake 60, the President's Commission into the Ghana Armed Forces. On behalf of the people and government of Ghana, please accept my warmest congratulations on your achievement as commissioned officers of the Ghana Armed Forces and the Guinean Armed Forces. I wish each one of you all success in your careers. I charge you to be patriotic, disciplined, and responsive at all times. May God bless the Ghana Armed Forces and us all, and may God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
That was the address and conference of the Presidential Commission by the reviewing officer. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and congratulations to you, newly commissioned officers. We wish you well.
Mesdames et messieurs, c'était l'allocution et la voix présidentielle conférée aux élèves officiers supérieurs par le président de la République et commandant en chef des forces armées ghanéennes, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Félicitations aux nouveaux officiers. Nous vous souhaitons du courage dans vos services respectifs.
Right! Right! Shit! Show! Die! Arms!
The parade commander is now marching to seek permission from the reviewing officer to hand over the colors and march off the graduates.
Distinguished viewers, having received the President's commission, these newly commissioned officers will march off to be decorated with the appropriate
presentation
officer
of
ranks.
awards and delivery of speech over. May I have your permission to hand over the colors and march off the graduates, Mr. President.
Having received the President's
Senior
commission,
Under Officer Awatri
these newly commissioned officers
has sought permission from the President to march off the colors. As mentioned earlier, the President's commission of these commissioned officers will be sent to the officer cadet mess to be dressed appropriately with their officer ranks. However, before they do, they will have to hand over the colors to their juniors, regular career course intake 63. As mentioned earlier, the colors embody the soul and spirit of the academy, and symbolically it has to be handed over from one course to the other, and in other words, from generation to generation.
the graduates will now hand over the colors.
Distinguished viewers, the graduates will hand over the colors to regular career course intake 63. The new ensigns to take over the colors are Officer Cadet Akoli Joseph for the national color and Flight Cadet Damsa Paul for the Ghana Military Academy color. With a matrix of leadership represented by these colors passed on, I am certain that come next year, God willing, regular career course intake 63 will look forward to passing on this mantle to their juniors if they meet the required standards to join the ranks of the officer corps. The graduates have handed over the colors to regular career course intake 63 and are marching off to take their positions on parade.
with the matrix of leadership represented by these talents passed on. I am certain that regular career course in 63 will look forward to passing on this mantle to their juniors if they meet the required standards to join the ranks of the officer corps.
Of leadership represented by these colors passed on. I am certain that come next year, regular career course intake 63 will look forward to passing on this mantle to their juniors, should they meet the required standards to join the ranks of the officer corps.
Graduates, who troop?
Escort contingent! In class order! March! Go! Students! Move to the left before. Left! Turn! Graduates! In class order! March!
Move! Students! Right! By the center! Slow! March!
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, officers selected for the peeping ceremony are to report now to the dining room of the officer cadets mess.
Mesdames et messieurs, les nouveaux officiers ayant reçu l'homologation présidentielle vont procéder aux messes des élèves officiers pour l'attribution de leur propre grade.
Your training to become a professional officer does not end here. In your units, you will need to continue to learn and prepare yourselves into responsible leaders in whose hands the security of this great nation and her citizenry can safely be placed. A high standard of discipline and performance will be required of them by their superiors, peers, and importantly, the men placed under their command. Distinguished viewers, today these young officers will take up the mantle to sit on the proverbial wall of life to defend it from all ills. It is our hope that their families, friends, and loved ones, and beyond, do not relent in their physical and spiritual support for them. By far, the task they are gallantly taking up for the country, the soldiers they will command, and for themselves is an arduous one. Hence, they cannot fail. They should not fail. Hopefully, they will know they will never fail. Distinguished viewers, as mentioned earlier, this morning a total of 292 officers have now been commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces, having trained for not less than 15 months for the regular career course intake 62 and not less than 6 months for the short service commission and special duties course 60. Distinguished viewers, as mentioned earlier, these officers are marching off to be decorated in their ranks to suit their status. They are marching off to say goodbye to the four corners of the Ghana Military Academy. And indeed, the journey has been very hectic, demanding, and tortuous.
The simple message from us to you, the newly commissioned officers, is that your training to become professional officers does not end here. In your unit, you need to continue to learn and prepare yourselves into responsible leaders in whose hands the security of this great nation and her citizenry can safely be placed. A high standard of discipline and performance will be required of you by your superiors, peers, and most importantly, the soldiers placed under your command. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today, these young officers will take up the mantle to sit on the proverbial wall of life and defend it from its ills. We beseech your families, friends, and loved ones, here and beyond, to never relent in their physical and spiritual support for them. By far, the task they have gallantly taken up for the country, the soldiers they will command, and for themselves is an arduous one. Hence, they cannot fail. They should not fail, and hopefully, they will never fail.
Mesdames et messieurs, d'ici les nouveaux officiers seront vêtus dans leur grade correspondant. Au centre du balcon du mess des élèves officiers se trouve l'adjudant-chef supérieur de l'académie, Gani Frederick, avec le soutien de ses subordonnés compétents, à s'en relâcher, aider à former ses officiers à ce niveau élevé, comme nous l'avons vu ce matin. Avec un grand sentiment de fierté et d'une grande réussite, il adresse ses premiers compliments à ses nouveaux officiers.
At the center of the stairway to the balcony of the New Officer Cadets Mess is the Academy Sergeant Major, Master Warrant Officer Gani Frederick, who, with the support of his able non-commissioned officers, have tirelessly helped to bring these officers to the high standards we have witnessed this morning. With a high sense of pride and great achievement, he will pay his first compliments to these newly commissioned officers.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me now to give you a brief profile of the parade adjutant's horse. The first evidence of horses in warfare dates from Eurasia between 3000 and 4000 BC. Many different types and sizes of horses were used in war, depending on the form of warfare. The type used varied with whether the horse was being ridden or driven, and whether they were being used for reconnaissance, cavalry charges, raiding, communication, or supply. Throughout history, horses played a crucial role in providing support to armies in the field. A horse gave extra height to its rider during battles, and this allowed war generals and their staff to observe a wider area, and additionally providing the necessary mobility required to direct the battle. Today, many of the historical military uses of the horse have evolved into peacetime applications, including exhibitions, historical reenactments, and ceremonial parades. The ceremonial parade adjutant's horse goes by the name Fire. Fire was born in the year 2002 in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. He is 20 years old. He was brought to Ghana in 2012. Fire has solid hooves, which enables him to cope with our terrain. He performs duties like cross-country, wedding escorts, and military parades. He has been on several national parades. He has also served as a ceremonial parade adjutant's horse and parade commander's horse for Independence Parade celebrations. Today marks his 7th time as the adjutant's horse for the Ghana Military Academy graduation parade. Riding the horse Fire is the ceremonial parade adjutant, Captain Sadiq Yusuf. He is one of the course officers of these newly commissioned officers. He has played a pivotal role in their training right from their inception to date. He is proudly seeing these newly commissioned officers off to be decorated in the appropriate officer ranks. Symbolically, he is behind the parade commander, Senior Under-Officer Awatrin Jacob Vanderpoy. This is to show his loyalty and full support for them in their chosen unknown path.
Mesdames et messieurs, le cheval qui participe au défilé aujourd'hui est Fire, c'est-à-dire Feu. Il est né en 2002 à KwaZulu-Natal, en Afrique du Sud. Il a été amené au Ghana en 2012. Fire a des sabots solides qui lui permettent de s'adapter à notre terrain. Il a participé à nombreuses cérémonies militaires au Ghana. Montant le cheval et l'adjudant du défilé des cérémonies, le capitaine Aboubakar Sadiq Youssef. Il est l'un des chargés de cours de ces nouveaux officiers. Il a joué un rôle central dans leur formation depuis le commencement de leur formation jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Fièrement, il voit ses officiers nouvelles commissionnés être décorés dans le grade d'officier approprié. Symboliquement, il soutient le major de la promotion Awatri Jacob Vanderpoy pour leur montrer sa loyauté et son plein soutien dans le chemin inconnu qu'ils ont choisi.
Junior Cadet Nogbe. She will soon ask permission from the reviewing officer to march off the colors and remainder of the parade.
Junior Cadet Nogbe. Junior Cadet Nogbe will now ask permission from the review officer to march off the colors and the remainder of the parade.
Junior Cadet Nogbe is marching majestically to ask permission from the reviewing officer and the President of the Republic, as well as the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to march off the colors and remainder of the parade.
Good morning, Mr. President. Graduation parade over. May I have your permission to march off the colors and the remainder of the parade, Mr. President?
The Junior Parade Commander,
has been
Junior Cadet Nogbe, has just asked permission from the review officer to march off the colors and the remainder of the parade.
Officer.
Certainly, this young woman is having an early taste of command.
Parade commander.
She will, however, have to work really hard to maintain this status.
Will soon take over command of the remainder of the parade. Certainly, this young woman is having an early taste of command, but will, however, need to work hard.
May I respectfully remind all to pay the appropriate compliments as the colors march off the square. Shall we now please rise for the national salute?
Right! National salute! Present! Arms!
Shall we please be seated? The reviewing officer, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all too soon we have come to the end of the first part of this morning's graduation ceremony. On behalf of the Military High Command, officers, men, civilian staff, and indeed the families of these newly commissioned officers, we express our profound gratitude to you, Mr. President, for coming to grace this all-important ceremony. It is indeed a great honor for us to interact with you, and we are most grateful. Our appreciation also goes to all ministers, members of the diplomatic corps, and all our specially invited guests. We are also most grateful to our sponsors and partners, which include the Ghana Boundary Commission, Ghana Commercial Bank Limited, Goil Company Limited, Newmont Africa, National Lotteries Authority, EcoBank PLC, Promasidor Company Limited, Services Integrity Savings and Loans, Alliance Insurance, National Health Insurance Authority, SIC Company Limited, and the Ghana Airport Company Limited, for all their contributions and support towards the development of the Academy. At this juncture, the President will exchange pleasantries with some dignitaries who are present this morning. He will be accompanied by the Ministers of Defense, Interior, National Security, and the Deputy Defense Minister. He will also be accompanied by the Chief of Defense Staff and the Inspector General of Police, the Service Chiefs, Commandant Ghana Military Academy, and the Guinean Ambassador. To our guests and well-wishers here present, we thank you all for your presence and cooperation. The second part of the parade is a presentation of the commission parchments to the newly commissioned officers by the reviewing officer. This will take place at the anteroom of the Officer Cadets Mess. The mess is a restricted area, and so all are humbly requested to cooperate with security and protocol officers. All are also reminded that only special guests invited for the parchment ceremony will be permitted to enter the Officer Cadets Mess. It is our hope and prayer that the good Lord will keep us safe till we meet again on this sacred square, God willing, next year.
With personnel present.
Once again, we have been your commentators, Squadron Leader Elizabeth Fadlatu Salifu, Flight Lieutenant Carl Achu Olaboye,
once again,
and Miss Rosemary.
You were watching us.
We thank you all for being present today, and we wish you safe journey mercies as you go back to your various destinations.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous vous remercions sincèrement d'avoir participé à cette cérémonie prestigieuse.
Distinguished viewers, we have come to the end of today's graduation parade, which was held at the Ghana Military Academy.
Junior Parade Commander from
Major
Junior
Nielsen,
Parade Commander,
the Corps Commander, to march off the square.
Graduation parade over. May I have your permission to march off the remainder of the parade? Sir.
Distinguished viewers, we have come to the end of today's graduation parade held at the Ghana Military Academy. I have been your commentator, Naval Lieutenant Agnes Arthur. My other colleagues, who were the masters of ceremony on the square, were Squadron Leader Elizabeth Fadilatu Salifu, Flight Lieutenant Carl Achu Olaboy, and Miss Rosemary Kwaku, who provided us with French commentary. Goodbye, so we'll meet again, God willing, next year.
Take post! Right! Up, day!
I remember
GBC at 88, the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana.